In these testing time, what has kept us going is our will to learn and to achieve something, and keeping that in our spirits, we have an interesting topic up for discussion today. So let me introduce you to our topic, Gilgit manuscripts. The birch bark and clay coated Gilgit manuscripts are the oldest surviving manuscripts in India. These manuscripts include both canonical and non canonical Buddhist work that throw light on the evolution of Sanskrit, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, Manchu, and Tibetan religion philosophical literature. They are used for the study of history and development of Buddhist thought, and writing is invaluable. The Gilgit manuscripts contain Inter alia sutras from the Buddhist canon, Samadhi Raja Sutra, and the Sadharama Pandrika Sutra from the part of the corpus that cover a wide range of subjects, including religion, ritual, philosophy, econometry, folktales, medicine, and many other areas of human life and knowledge. Paleographically, these manuscripts can be dated back to the 5th to the 6th century AD and are written in Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit language of Gupta Brahmi and the post-Gupta Brahmi scripts of that period. These manuscripts were discovered in 3 installments in Gilgit region of Kashmir, while the main part of the manuscripts is housed in the National Archives of India, New Delhi. The rest of the collection is at Sri Pratap Singh Museum, Jammu and Kashmir.
The document, which dates back to the 5th century, is perhaps the only Buddhist manuscript discovered in India. Believed to be one of the most revered Buddhist scriptures, it represents the discourse delivered by Buddha towards the end of his life. A corpus of many Buddhist texts, such as 4 sutras from the Buddhist canon, including the famous Lotus Sutra, the manuscripts survived because they were written on the bark of the birch tree, which does not decay, and were kept in the freezing sub-zero temperatures of the region. Apart from the literary significance of these manuscripts, they also provide example of fine art work in a painted wooden covers in the manuscripts found in Kashmir. They mark an important phase in the art of book in India, for they were seen not merely as records of information but also things of beauty in themselves. Even after the development and adoption of printing by Buddhist institution, Buddhists continue to copy them by hand as a spiritual practice. From another manuscript, we learn that the Dharma Bhanakas also sought magical protection, for there is a special dharani in the Ratnaketu Parivarta, which does not only protect the Dharma Bhanakas against all sorts of diseases.
Classification of manuscripts. Manuscript and material concept has a carrier or support and ink. Gilgit manuscripts were written on the bark of the boj, birch tree. The vernacular name of birch bark in Sanskrit is Burja Patrak, in Hindi Bhoj Patra, and in Bengali Burja Patra. It was abundantly found throughout the western Himalayan range, growing at the height of nearly 14,000 feet. Before the invention of paper, birch bark along with palm leaf was the primary writing material of India. For the preparation of bark as a writing material, birch trees of 15 to 16 years old, 35 to 45 feet height, with a stem of 33 to 35 inches were selected. Bark was wrapped in a starch-free cotton cloth and dried under sunlight. Then layers were removed by rubbing the bark against a hard surface. These layers were kept in dews for a night to remove rancidity. Then they were kept under water and dried again in sunlight. Lastly, oil was applied. After processing, the long bark was cut into pieces of required length and width. Then the bark was ready for writing.
Illustration. For making illustrations on the manuscript, black ink was used, and even different types of instruments like quill pen, etc., different types and sizes of brushes were used. Subject matter. Gilgit manuscripts were written in the 2nd century, while the other groups places them between the 6th and the 7th century. These manuscripts are the only corpus of Buddhist manuscripts discovered in the subcontinent. The language of these texts is Sanskrit, while the vocabulary is derived from ancient Buddhist texts in Prakrit.
Gilgit manuscript is the oldest surviving manuscript in India. This fact itself makes it historically very important. This manuscript opens the door to the range of subjects studied and explored by the Buddhist people of that time. The subjects usually included folktales, rituals, culture, philosophy, religion, medicine, and much more. This manuscript holds the most valuable data written in hybrid Sanskrit language. Now, this language in which it is written shows us that the authors back in the history were very versatile with the language and could blend them very nicely. This is significant because it helped most of the Asian and the Indian literatures to evolve. The script is the evidence of the historical discoveries done by the ancient Buddhist people. It is the evidence of human activity and how a religion can travel vast areas due to people and the environment. This whole manuscript, most importantly, includes the Buddhist work that throws light on the evolution of Sanskrit, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, and Tibetan religious and philosophical literature. All these above stated facts makes it crystal clear that this manuscript holds a very significant position in the history of humankind and India itself.
An art historical inquiry would not be complete without looking closely. The images gives the feel how complex these tiny illustrations are and how much they can discover within them. The figure represented on the cover of the manuscripts are of Avalokiteshvara, a two-armed standing on the lotus pedestals, his right hand in Abhaya Mudra, which denoted blessing a devotee. The eyes are slanting and outstretched, recalling in style those of certain Ajanta figures. The use of primarily colors such as yellow, vermilion red, blue is vivacious, and shading on each figure is subtle. It's questionable how much individuality we could draw from these paintings, but the effort to differentiate each figure and feature is undeniable. The difference in skin color may suggest the difference in the monastic ranks and status. It can also indicate the regional or ethnic origins. For instance, the green monk from center section was from Tibet. A sweet melody seems to be its main aim. At first, thus it sacrifices every essential condition of a language. Gilgit manuscript doesn't use convenient forms of verb or singular, plural, feminine, masculine genders. Maybe the author of the text was a versatile linguist and could play around with it, so the grammatical or literary aspect of text is of historical interest.
The Gilgit manuscript also holds the chronological list of the king who ruled back then, which would have been impossible to know if it were not recorded. This whole manuscript, most importantly, includes the Buddhist work that throws light on the evolution of Sanskrit, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Mongolian, and Tibetan religious and philosophical literature. These religious texts were written in different languages, methods, and writing systems. Memorizing, reciting, and copying the texts was seen as spiritually valuable. Even after the development and adoption of printing by Buddhist institutions, Buddhists continued to copy them by hand as a spiritual practice. In an effort to preserve these scriptures, Asian Buddhist institutions were at the forefront of the adoption of Chinese technologies related to bookmaking, including paper and block printing, which were often deployed of a large scale. Because of this, the first surviving example of a printed text is a Buddhist charm. The first full printed book is the Buddhist Diamond Sutra. Storage and preservation. Gilgit manuscripts were discovered in a wooden box in a circular chamber inside a Buddhist stupa by cattle grazers in 1931. They survived because they were written on the bark of the Bhoj tree, which does not decay. They were kept in the freezing sub zero temperatures of the Gilgit region. Preservation of the manuscripts. The most famous of the Gilgit manuscripts, the Lotus Sutra, is preserved in the National Archives of India in Delhi. It is also known as the Sadharma Pundarika Sutra or the Teachings of the White Lotus and Sun. In 2012, a facsimile edition of it was published by the National Archives jointly with the Institute of Oriental Philosophy and Soka Gakkai, a Japan based non governmental organization.
The people of Gilgit who developed and used Gilgit manuscript had a very futuristic perspective. They had developed a technique for the prevention of the manuscript. They knew exactly how to pass on the stories and tales of their gods and legions to the future. This is a very good example of art and fine craftsmanship. They painted all the minute details by hand. They made colors and brushes out of natural resources and created excellent paintings. This script holds the roots of many languages and their scripts. Buddhism traveled through the world as well as the scripts. They influenced the art and the culture and the fonts of all over the world.
They also gave the world of the future an important perspective in the philosophy of life and the morals we should carry through it. The discovery of such manuscripts helped us understand our past so we can learn from it to have a better tomorrow. So, these manuscripts were translated by dedicated researchers and then published in various languages available to the masses. The fonts and scripts that were used to write such manuscripts are unique and offer a lot of opportunities for us to learn from them, including traditional art and handmade artworks. Findings dating as far back as the Gilgit manuscript often contain those missing pieces of information lost in time, like the information stories and lessons that created the very foundation of the modern Buddhism with its roots. The importance of the discovery of pieces of history like this have an incredible religious and cultural importance, and that's exactly why they are such significant findings.